rolling tumors to roaring lampooners, the Tigers on a Roll show starts in 3, 2, 1.
War Eagle Auburn family, and welcome back to Tigers on a Roll. This Tigers on a Roll is the Tigers on a Prowl episode for the week of November 24th. And you already know what that means. It is Iron Bowl week. But before we start obsessing over the biggest rivalry in college sports coming to Jordan-Hare this weekend, we have got to talk about a weekend that was absolutely packed with Auburn action. We had a huge rivalry win, tournament heartbreaks, and a glimpse into the future of Auburn football, and everyone is buzzing. Let's get the ball rolling, and we will go to the Equestrian Center. We're going to skip a couple of these scoreboards here. We're going to start in the dirt. If you missed it, on Friday, the number 2 Equestrian team beats Georgia, number 1 ranked Georgia. And they sent a message. They took down the top ranked team in the Bulldogs 14-6 right here at home in Auburn. And the Deep South's oldest rivalry came with immense bragging rights, and our girls showed up. A massive shout out to Avery Glynn, who was the absolute moneymaker, taking home MOP for fences and flat, and Caroline Buchanan also snagged Most Outstanding Performer in reining. Beating the number 1 team in the country is sweet, but to do it against Georgia, that is just icing on the cake. And we're going to take it over to the court. The volleyball team gave us all a heart attack, certainly. This weekend at the SEC tournament on Saturday, they pulled off what I will dub the Savannah Miracle. They were down 0-2 against Oklahoma, and the Tigers clawed back. An epic reverse sweep for them, winning 3-2. Belle Zimmerman, absolutely unstoppable with a career-high 20 kills. But unfortunately, the run ended yesterday in the quarterfinals against the number 1 seed Kentucky Wildcats. The Cats took it 3-0, but you have got to tip your cap to Coach Crouch and the squad for the fight against Oklahoma and to continue their run a little bit deeper into the tourney. It is certainly a tough exit, but they battled. And of course, also capping the weekend, as everyone already knows, was Auburn's drubbing of Mercer. And we already covered it in the postgame show, but it needs to be said again. It wasn't that we won, it was how we won. Deuce Knight got his first career start and looked like a creative player from NCAA. 4 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, 401 total yards of offense that he was responsible for. He tied a school record for touchdowns in a game in his very first start. I don't care who you're playing. That is electric. And it's exactly the kind of confidence that is going to boost our boys going into this weekend. And specifically the offense looking better under Nix is definitely something that they've needed. They've needed late in the season, and going into the biggest game of the year is absolutely monumental for them. And I predicted last Saturday night, I predicted that Auburn wins. So did my boy Walker that came on the show. Varying degrees of success there as far as our spreads go. But the Tigers are on the up and up. I know it was against Mercer, but they have been a lot more competitive, and the offense has been high flying over the last few games that they've played. And we will see if they can put it all together against Alabama in the Iron Bowl at home this Saturday. Finally, we've got Nixon Chebby. Nixon Chebby went to the NCAA cross-country tournament, and he finished 41st overall in the men's 10K. He is only the 4th Auburn man to qualify individually for the NCAA championships. And you had the men and women's swim team both finish 2nd at the NC State Invitational. That included 2 overall event wins, 2 of the top 10 fastest relays in program history, and 8 individual top 10 performances for the Auburn men and women's swim teams last Friday. And before we get into this week's events, let's hear from our sponsors. Brahma Marketing is your one-stop shop for everything from signs and apparel to high-impact vehicle wraps. As a certified 3M graphics company, they guarantee quality and durability. They've partnered with Greystar Real Estate, Prisma Health, HD Supply, and more. Stop blending in and start standing out. Visit brahmamarketing.com to get started on your next project. War Eagle from the Orlando Auburn Club. Are you an Auburn alum or fan living in the Orlando area? This is more than just a club. It's your official connection to the Auburn family right here in Central Florida. The club hosts watch parties and networking events for past, current, and future Tigers and their families. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and online at orlandooburnclub.org. All right, let's get set back up here. I'm trying to get a nice festive background for everyone on the live stream today. My hat's a little too tall though. Look a little crazy, but we're gonna keep it moving here. Well, we're gonna keep it. Let's turn the calendar over here to this week. Again, Monday, November 24th is when you're watching this bad boy. And if you think the action slows down because it's Thanksgiving week, you are dead wrong. The men's basketball team is out west in Vegas for the Players Era Championship. Tonight at 7 o'clock actually is their first game, and they are taking on Oregon. Then, with no time to rest, they are back at it tomorrow, Tuesday night, against Michigan at 7:30. Coach Pearl's squad is coming off of an absolute drubbing of Jackson State, 112-66. They demolished them. They looked fast. They looked dangerous. And this Vegas trip is a real multi-game test away from home. And I want to see how the defense holds up against Power 4 competition on back-to-back nights. As always, these early season, highly competitive tournaments are very important to get the team accustomed to playing super intense games quickly because that is exactly what you do in March. And we will preview those matchups, Oregon and Michigan, and then whatever is their playoff bracket at the Players Era. We're gonna preview those over the next couple episodes. But you cannot forget that the women's team is also on the road. They are down in Frisco, Texas, for the Hoop Fest Challenge. They tip off tonight against UTSA at 4 Central, and then they'll be back in action on Wednesday against Cal and Sunday against Oregon. Coach Vickers, if you don't know, was hired this year, and he has them playing really tough across the board, but specifically on defense. They just held Rutgers to 46 points last week, and keep an eye on the women's basketball team to find some continued success under old Larry Vickers. But keep an eye on both of those teams out there. Those scoreboards are going to be getting lit up, and we could have a double win Monday for Auburn hoops, and we will keep you updated on those as those games unfold over on X. So make sure that you go follow Tigers on a Roll on X to stay tuned with all the happenings around the Plains, especially live tweeting during games. And speaking of games, finally the big one this Saturday. Jordan-Hare Stadium, 6:30 Central. The Iron Bowl is upon us. We're going to spend the rest of the week looking at matchups, the betting lines, and keys to victory in all of the episodes that are coming up. But right now, let's just let the feeling of the Iron Bowl at home settle in. The atmosphere is going to be hostile. The stakes, as always, are bragging rights for 365 days and a bowl berth for what that's worth. And after Auburn's offense running wild on Saturday, you have got to ask yourself, do the Tigers have a little magic left in the tank for the Tide? I say yes, and we'll have a full preview dropping on Thursday, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. You do not want to miss this week of content, especially because there may be news coming out about who our next head coach will be, and it may be a charismatic young fella down in Louisiana. Wink, wink. A lot of players following Summerall right now. But that is it for today's Tigers on a Prowl. Catch the basketball games tonight. Women at 4, men at 7, all Central Times. And our Tigers across the board are currently rolling, and we'll roll right along with them. Thanks for watching. Tigers on a roll. As always, please like, comment, and share the video. War Eagle, and I will see you.